The Fold 3 has been out almost an entire year now. So we're here. We're in the middle of July. The phone came out right about the middle of August. So 11 months. Is the phone still good? Has it held up well? Is now the time to consider buying one because there are deals out there? And should you wait and get the Fold 4? Those are the 4 things I want to talk about in this video because I think that it's important. The biggest hurdle I think most people needed to get over when it came to this phone, actually 2. One was the price, 2 is durability. Because when you're spending $1,799 for a phone, you want to know, is it worth it and is it going to last? Well, I've been using it for, a year. I got it the day that it came out. I ordered it, showed up at my house. I use this phone every single day. I use it at night. This is actually, I made a video before saying it's the best tablet of 2022 because, ta-da, you get this big screen on the inside, which I totally like being able to use. I don't necessarily like carrying it around on a day-to-day basis, which is something, using the front screen still leaves something to be desired. I wish that it was wider. And it would be nice if it were just slightly shorter. I'm actually okay with the height of it. It is nice that it has a longer height. It stands up tall. It's got a nice big screen on it. But it's too narrow still to type on, which, of course, it's an improvement over the original Fold. But now we're on the 3rd generation, almost the 4th generation. And it doesn't really seem like we're still getting much of an improvement in that area on the Fold 4. The biggest thing here, if you have a front screen, it needs to be more useful. Now, of course, yes, you can do everything with it. You can use it as a viewfinder. You can play games. You can fire up Boom Beach and play it on the screen if you want. But trying to type on it, trying to use it, it's very narrow. It's very convenient. It's a convenient way to just take a look at your phone, do whatever you need to do, fire it up. I love that the fingerprint sensor is on the side. I sincerely hope that they don't change that. I really don't want to see an under-the-screen fingerprint sensor. This one works out well. There's not really any compromises here. It's nice. It's off to the side. It's accurate. It's a nice fingerprint sensor. Please don't screw that up, Samsung. So, the phone itself, it's a treat. I mean, it's something that's really nice to use. If you're tired of using a phone that looks like this, and you want to do something like this, but also you want to be able to open it up on the inside, and then you get the big screen right here, that's a really nice thing to do. I enjoy using this. I make all the thumbnails for my videos every single night on this phone. I also use it for playing some games. I was playing some Dead by Daylight on it. I played my Boom Beach on here. It's something that gives you a different experience, and the price threshold is pretty high, $17.99. Of course, there are sales. There's some pretty decent sales with Samsung. They've been having crazy sales on the S22 Ultra, and that would actually be kind of a good conversation to have in the future, S22 Ultra or Fold 3. Which is the better multitasking phone? Which one's better for you? And I think it's funny, when you look at the S22 Ultra, it actually has a bigger battery than this guy. And in some ways, I do like it. But if you want to have a phone that you can use as a phone, but also you get the tablet flexibility for when you have some downtime or when you have some more leisurely time, if you're not pressed for time, you want to fold it open and use it, it's got some really nice benefits. And I'm very frustrated that the Fold 4, from everything we've seen, is not going to have an internal slot for the stylus. It really needs to have that, because these cases, they go on the back and then they cover up the front screen and then they've got the little slot on the back for the S Pen. That's not it. That is not the way to have a successful, professional, modern case. They really need to open it up and find a way to put an S Pen inside of here. Make the S Pen smaller. Give it the one that goes into the S22 Ultra. Then you don't have to have this big, gigantic one on the back, and then you can free up some space in here. That would be a great way to go. However, it doesn't appear that they're doing that. Also, it doesn't appear that they're giving us the S22 Ultra cameras in the Fold 4, which I think is another swing and a miss. It looks like probably the regular S22 camera setup. I think that's what we're getting. Either way, they're not really messing with the camera bump. Still going to be a triple stack. Going to have a 50 megapixel camera sensor there. Some people say that, yes, the cameras are a secondary thing. This is not a phone that people pick up to go take award-winning National Geographic shots. They just want a very capable camera, but the big allure to buying this is the foldingness, the folding screen. And I get that, but why not just get a Fold 2 or a Fold 3 and save yourself a ton of money? I think the Fold 3 is going to be a very good value proposition, value on a $1,700 phone. I think part of the message with what Samsung is trying to do, where it seems like they're not really putting a whole lot of crazy new advanced stuff, big changes into the Fold 4, there's still no competition, and the biggest thing is still adoption rate. So my guess is that we're going to see a lowered cost again with the Fold 4. It wouldn't surprise me if it comes in at $15.99, and I think that that's a smart move to make, because you want people to buy it. And the biggest thing they needed to demonstrate, going back to the beginning, was, is it durable? And is it worth the money? And I think so, especially if you don't want to get a tablet. I could get rid of my iPad. I could get rid of my Tab S8. I could use only this just for a tablet and as a phone, and it works great, especially because it's got decks in here, wireless decks as well. You got everything that you need. The battery life I wish was better. With all this space in here, they should find a way to put some more battery in there. I think the focus on this next one, the Fold 4, make it a little bit thinner, change the ratio a little bit on the screen, make it just slightly shorter and slightly wider, which I don't think it's going to be as helpful as people think that it might be. I think that that's more of a, okay, we're saying we're making a change, but we're not really committing to making a big change. We'll see how that plays out. Also, there's not going to be an S Pen inside of it. So those things, along with the not getting the S22 Ultra camera, I argue, if you have a phone that costs $1,700, it should have the best cameras possible, not an older camera, not a more streamlined camera, not just it's a better than average or an okay camera. It should have the best. If you're talking about a phone that costs $17.99, and then who knows what the next one's going to be, but I think there's going to be an introductory model. I hope $15.99, because that's the thing. There's no competition. There's no other folding phone in the United States. Yes, we've got the ones with Vivo. We've got the ones with Huawei. We got the ones with Honor over the Chinese ones internationally. They're not here, and they don't work properly on our network, so that's it. Samsung knows this is the guy. This is the heir apparent phone. I say buy the Fold 3. I think that it's good. It's been very durable. I still have my original screen protector on here. It's held up well. You can see I use the S Pen every day, and there's not even a bunch of micro abrasions on here. They've done a great job with the PET style film protector they put on here. Light years better than the Fold 2. It's held up really well. It's held up all year. I haven't had any display problems. The crease in here, that is one nice thing with the Fold 4. It's going to have a more shallow crease, so it's going to be less disruptive in the process, less glaring, less of an eyesore when you look at it, because it's very clearly there. It's not something that you can hide. It's not something you can avoid. And the biggest frustration I have is when I'm drawing, whenever I'm doing my thumbnails, when you rake that S Pen across it, because the divot is kind of sharp, it will disrupt your drawing. So there are things about it that I don't like, but you kind of get used to those. Also, there's a multitasking. Honestly, for multitasking, I kind of like the Duo 2 better. I like the two independent displays where I can keep what I'm doing on one and have maybe a project or some entertainment or like Twitter open on the other one. I don't like having to resize all the different windows and stuff. You can do it. I don't do a whole lot of it with this phone. Really, this phone is it's a tablet I can take anywhere with me. And it works out great. It's still got the Snapdragon 888. It's got plenty of RAM. The battery, it doesn't quite get me where I need it to be. I get about 4.5 hours screen on time, and the battery drain on this is surprisingly bad. It's one of the worst phones I've had when it deals with standby time. If you can leave it alone, and you're going to have a significant battery drop by the next day if you've got a SIM card and you've got your Wi-Fi connected and all that stuff. But overall, I think that the durability is fine. I like that when they came to this model, they made the hinge even smaller. We've got the IPX8 water resistance. A next evolution, I think, would be dust resistance. But this is a very delicate phone. This is a delicate, expensive, premier phone that you're not going to take to the beach and you're not going to drop it in the pool. Thankfully, it has the IPX8 in case you drop it in the toilet. I hope you don't. That would be bad. But the phone itself, I think it has addressed the durability well enough. And I know there's some people out there who are saying, no, dude, you're smoking rocks. Mine is not durable. I've had problems with mine. That happens with every single phone. And it's going to be more prone to happen with this one, because it doesn't even have a glass screen. This is still, even though it's got the ultra thin glass, it's effectively a hard plastic screen. That's what allows it to bend, is that ultra thin glass display. It's not going to compare with a Gorilla Glass Victus or Victus Plus or whatever you've got rocking on the latest flagship phones. So I think that for most people, as long as you treat it well and you're not abusing the phone, or you don't take off the screen protector, don't take off the screen protector. If you do, put another one on there, or take it to Samsung Experience Store, let them put another one on there for you, because that is key to preserving the screen. Especially, don't use harsh chemicals. You don't want to use things like alcohol wipes, especially if you take off the screen protector, because then you're going to get that, it's going to start to break down the material on the screen. And I think that's something that people have been doing. I think over the last year or two, we've been dealing with all the germs and all the worry in the world. You want to clean your phone all the time. When you keep using those harsh chemicals like lens wipes and screen wipes, it breaks down the material and it makes it more brittle. It makes it more prone to damage over time. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is get a microfiber cloth, and then you can easily wipe it off and clean it, and it actually cleans off the screen really well. The front one and the one on the inside. I use it all the time. I learned the error of my ways. That's what I do. And it will preserve that screen protector and last even longer. So if you want to get one, I've got a link down below. You can go to Samsung. They've actually got some pretty good sales right now. They've taken $400 off to give a free Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 Classic, and they have enhanced trade-in value. Plus, they even give extra trade-in value, more so for a cracked screen than they do during the normal time anyway. So if you're curious about that, you want to get one, I think you can get one as cheap as about $700-800 right now on the Samsung website if you do a maximum trade-in of like an S21 Ultra or a Fold 2, something like that. Then they have max trade-in value, and you can get one at better cost. $17.99 was steep whenever this phone came out, but now may be the time to buy one because there's not going to be a huge earth-shattering change with the Fold 4. Yes, from all the indications, we're going to get S Pen compatibility on the front screen. Do you really care about using an S Pen on this front screen? This is supposed to be a convenience screen. That's one of the reasons why it's so thin and so narrow. You're not really going to be doing anything, especially when it doesn't have a small S Pen. You're going to be using this guy right here, this gigantic S Pen, trying to write on this screen. Do you really think that's going to work out very well? That's not really a big selling point, at least in my opinion. And it's not going to have a slot for the S Pen, so you're going to have one of these janky cases on the back, which is also something that I don't care about. But I think the diminished crease, having a more flush crease, is going to be a good thing. I think having the Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1 or whatever it is, that's going to be great. You're going to get more power, going to get better AI stuff. You're going to get more computational photography, which is going to improve the camera experience over this one. But all that stuff is fancy ways of saying, if you can get one of these for less than $1,000, save yourself the money. This one I think is fantastic. I've been using this one. I use it all the time. I use it every day. It's held up well for me. I feel like I've got my money's worth out of it. And then again, you're going to get 4 years of software updates and 5 years of security patches. It's going to be good for a long time. So maybe hang on to it for a year or two, trade it in, get a Fold 5 maybe the following year after they make maybe some more improvements to it. Of course, you can always do the wait and see game, see what happens when the Fold 4 launches. I think the Fold 4 is going to do a lot of what the Z Flip 3 did. The Z Flip 3 didn't actually change a lot fundamentally with what the phone did. They, yes, gave us a bigger screen on the outside. They bumped stuff up. They didn't change a lot of the hardware. The cameras remained the same. The screen's basically the same. And what that allowed them to do was to lower the cost, because what they needed to do was get people into those phones, because $1,449 is cost prohibitive for a lot of people. But then when you sell it for $999, and then you have carrier incentives out the wazoo where people can basically get them for free for trading in a myriad of phones, that's how Samsung gets these phones out in the market. That's what I think they're going to try and do with the Fold 4. So maybe it might be worthwhile to see what happens with the Fold 4, because I think that's the angle. I think that's why we're not getting a lot of huge premium updates with the Fold 4, at least from what the rumors and the leaks and everything we're seeing is telling us. But if you can save yourself a lot of money, if you just want the S Pen support, if you just want a good phone, I think the Fold 3, I think it holds up well. I think a year later is very durable. And I think it has a good spot in your pocket, maybe for the next couple of years, if you want to give one of these a home. So that's just my 2 cents. If you want, wait for the Fold 4. You can go for it. It's always great to see what the latest and greatest is. There's probably going to be some more deals, especially as it gets closer to that time. We'll have more information that'll leak out, because we're right on the precipice of being at a year. I think August 11th was when the Fold 3 was announced this last year. As of the date of recording this video, it's July the 14th. So I think we're right around the corner from the next Unpacked event, and it's going to be exciting, but I don't think it's going to be exciting as we think it's going to be when it comes to the Fold 4. And if you still want a folding phone, an S Pen, ta-da, this might be your guy. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.